man has got a complaint in an unusual direction, actually. 27 Carlo Rambaldi Drive. Dear James, I feel that the time has come to protest in writing about the most boring, intellectually defunct person on your show. Do I refer to Jimmy White? No. Do I refer to Paul Nolan? No. Nor do I refer to Stephen Chucksaway Robinson. I do, of course, refer to that boring fascist faggot Steve Huckvale. Although his mere presence on your show is that of an intermediary, I really do feel that he kills the show stone-dead single-handedly with his bombastic right-wing opinions, his constant foul-mouthing, which would make even irate Albert blush, and his all-round bad manners. Please, as one of your show's massive team of scriptwriters, I beg you to get rid of him. Amen. Wade Davis. OK, Mr. Davis, no sooner said than done. What do you think? Yes, please. Right. OK, then, after tomorrow, no more Huckvale. OK, kid? Oh, he can hardly contain his sorrow at the prospect. No, let me stay, let me stay. Who wants to go out to the boozer? Not me. And for a Chinese afterwards, perhaps. And a little stroll round up and down Portland Street, see if we can... No, he says, I'd rather be here with you in the darkened, fume-ridden studio. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. Aye. So, what next? Yes, that's a good idea. What next? Busket. Oh, OK, then. I'll delve into the famous postbag once more. And just a little reminder that the latest hit disco sensation is very nearly upon us. Oh, it sounds like the Academy Awards, this, isn't it? OK, I hope you've been getting ready. You've had an hour and a half now to get set for this. Good heavens above. James, I, Lillian Horseshoe, handful of ball bearings, tin of soup, Jones, oh dear, of Noddyland, leader of the great clan 57 Varieties, who defeated the not-so-great clan Germaline in the Battle of the Tea Cloth of 1841. Wish to express my strong feelings for the maltreatment of vegetable soup. Oh, dear. Well, that'll teach me to read them first. OK, well, we'll come back to that one a little bit later. Right. Meanwhile, here's one I made it. I heard a story today about an industrial tribunal in which a British Rail employee had been dismissed because a passenger complained... I don't know, did you hear this one? A passenger complained that when he got his cup of scalding hot tea... I mean, you just can't win. I'm sorry, I do digress sometimes. Grasshopper mind, you see. Genius can't be pinned down. You know when you get your boiling hot cup of tea on a tray? Now, years ago, it used to be cold. It used to be in those white cups with a green band round the top, and it was stone cold, right? And it was threatens. Now it's boiling hot because the little plastic cups that they give you, they wet the tea bag with superheated steam, put it in a plastic cup, which burns you as you're making your way back down the carriage, right? They give you a little plastic thing to stir it with, which melts and goes all out of shape when you put it in the tea. And it costs you, what is a cup of tea on a train now? About 40 pence, isn't it? Hey? Anyway, as you'll have noticed, the tea bag has got like a little tin-foil handle on it, so you can get it out without plunging your hand into this boiling hot liquid. And an observant punter noticed that his tea bag was not as it should be. It was just an ordinary tea bag. It was not recorded at the tribunal whether it had a piece of string on the end or not. So investigations revealed that the British Rail steward had in fact been, well, he'd been getting his own tea bags in, you know, from the cash and carry, right, and working them. So he was dismissed. He complained, went to Industrial Tribunal, and the Industrial Tribunal upheld the dismissal. Now, bear in mind everything I've told you so far. The name of them, and I wonder whether this is something to do with this programme or not, but I shouldn't think so. The name of the man who had been dismissed was Thomas Strain. Get it? Now then, you'll know, if you're not on first names with him, of course, you'll understand that his more formal title is Mr. T. Strain. Now, on hearing this, I immediately leapt to the calendar just to check whether I'd overslept again, and it was April the 1st. But no, I don't think it is anyway. Someone else, a colleague of mine, said, yes, and if you say it quickly, his name's Thomas Strain, as in tank engine. I think that's probably taking things a bit too far. But I just thought it's one of those little things which helps to brighten up life's dull and bleak landscape, doesn't it? OK, then. Right. The time is upon us. 11 minutes to 12. After a pause, we will embark on the latest disco music sensation to sweep the west coast of America. Right, we will. That'll be in 1 minute, 10 seconds. I hope you're ready. I hope you've got your, what's it, those little hats on with the flashing lights round and everything. I hope you're in full disco gear. It's a new one, this, so be ready to join in. OK. You've got to be adventurous. Wait for it. That's enough. I'm not entirely sure of the precise circumstances of this. All we have is a very, very brief report from the United States of America, from the erstwhile colonies, that Max Bygraves is all the go, I think is the expression, in the fashionable discotheques over there. Why, I do not know. It may be that our septic cousins can't believe how ghastly it is. But whether they're roaring laughing or not, I shouldn't imagine Max is the tiniest bit bothered, because he still gets paid, whether they laugh at his records or not. As long as they hand the bucks over, and he'll be able to, what did he say the other day? I'm down to me last yacht, I think he said. Isn't it amazing? It's very depressing, you know. Roger Whittaker, right, can't sing to keep himself warm. Max Bygraves, if they put him on in a pub these days, he'd get bottled off, wouldn't he? And he's loaded. Absolutely loaded. Yeah, well. Time for a spot of you'd never think people like this still manage to get out during daylight. This is from Croft, near Warrington. I would have thought that after 2.5 years of attempting this, that we'd have actually begun to make some headway, but clearly not. I would like to comment on your news feature on Wednesday evening last about the new immigration laws. Well, there aren't any new immigration laws, anyway. I intended to phone you that night, but I felt physically sick with nerves. So I hope you will read this aloud and let me hear my own words. My view is that the new law... There is no new law, you stupid person. However, my view is that the new law makes sense. This basically stems from being worried about overpopulation in Britain. It seems to me that if the current birth rate is falling, it is better to keep the population down this way than to let increasingly large numbers of immigrants enter the country, especially when you consider how rapidly members of the Asian community reproduce. Ooh, yeah. I think it takes about 9 months. But anyway, if you require an example of this, just think of Bradford, the first city that will become a republic within the next generation as it loses all its remaining links with the white population. I believe there are more and more Irish people and people of second-generation Irish extraction in the UK than in Eire. That's right, yeah. Recent figures have shown that there are about 55 million people in Britain and only 3 million in Eire. It doesn't make sense that previously British colonies fought and clamoured for independence and then the people allowed to settle here in droves, contributing significantly to bleeding the system rather than striving to better it. You mentioned on Thursday evening that Saudi Arabia was concerned about national culture being lost because of the numbers of ethnic immigrants. I don't think of Saudi as being a multicultural society, but we are forced to think of Britain as such because we are constantly reminded of it. Even the Lego company has been taken to court recently because the ethnic groups were upset at the Lego sets containing no black or coloured figures. Another point which I think is a byproduct of overpopulation is the increasingly large number of road traffic accidents. When there are more vehicles on the road because of more residents, there are bound to be more accidents. Well, at this point, Ms. Hardy, I feel I can agree with you. Prior to that rather unexpected paragraph, it was a load of absolute cobblers. I know you will not agree with my fears, but would you please be good enough to read this letter out, as a lot of thought went into it. Oh, all you've got, I should imagine. And now I have voiced my concern, I don't feel nearly so worried. Thank you. Yes, indeed. Well, as long as you don't feel worried, then perhaps we can get on with running the country rather than having people like you tampering with it, doing things that you know nothing about. Right, is it time to... Yeah, go on, we'll just try and squeeze one in. OK, this should take us to the news, I sincerely hope, anyway.
We're at this...
Right, that's Barry Labotta, a Canadian gentleman. In fact, Barry has gone to the trouble of sending a little note with his record. That's Go Away Little Squirrels. And he sent a very attractive little publicity pack to station managers, programmers and DJs. Hi, my name is Barry Labotta. Labotta rhymes with you oughta. And I hope you don't mind my dropping you a note concerning my latest record. 40 years ago, I was born in Montreal, but I have made Toronto my home for the past 11 years. That's a surprise. I write and record my own style of music, unquestionably, which I call entertainment rock. Well, I'm getting the boys in our legal department to look into that one. Last year, I released my first 2 records, called In the Studio and Rock and Roll Star. Now I present Go Away Little Squirrels, which I humbly feel is the hottest pop song about rodents since the days of Alvin and the Chipmunks. Go Away Little Squirrels tells the true story about an experience I had a few years ago with Sammy and a few other squirrels. It left an impression because, believe it or not, my 1988 Ontario license plate reads SQURLS. On the license plate frame, you don't spell license like that. I've inscribed my own personal message so that it reads, I break for squirrels, so should you. Go Away Little Squirrels is an adult rock song written for the kid in all of us. Sincerely, Barry. Well, he's absolutely right. There aren't that many songs about rodents, are there, really, in the library? Oh, remember to feed a squirrel real soon. Yeah, okay then. If you want any details about that, then ring Steve Penk and ask him. Brilliant. Thank you. I don't think of any other songs about... Oh, there's Ben. That's it, really, isn't it? In the rodent hit 30. I wonder... Oh, dear me. Dear me. I wonder if we might try and conjure up, between now and the final few seconds of the whole series, the rodent top 20, eh? You never know. Of course, it'll have to be delivered by hand because of the post being what it is. Worth a spin, I suppose. I like that, like, Go Away Peanut Breath. I thought that was very amusing. Anyway, in a moment or two, failing faute de ponteurs, we shall turn our attention to this quite extraordinary copy of the Prestwich and Whitefield Guide, published by the Prestwich and Whitefield Guide, Duke Ellington Boulevard, Prestwich. Price nearly £1 in old money. I'll explain more.
The tall blonde man dressed in...
Right, crikey.